Hey everybody, welcome back. Tower of God, episode 5, man. My man Coon, dude. He is so crafty and such an interesting character that I even though I get questions about him, I just love seeing him on the screen. Like Bam is a cool main guy. He's fine. He's nice. He's likable. Seems to be pretty loyal. I enjoy how little he knows about the world around him. He's basically equivalent to the reader in terms of learning stuff about the world. But Coon, I think, is like my favorite character thus far, and the blue turtle himself. He just I like how crafty he is, how mysterious he is, and his manner of problem solving. So like in this episode, we're continuing the crown game, right? And Bam, is put onto the throne with the crown, and now a lot of the other teams are starting to crawl out and see their opportunity to engage in a fight with the remaining members of Team Bam, that being Kun and Rack, whatever you want to pronounce it. And they see that this is like, big opportunity for them. And Kun's crafty. He's done this whole thing with like the fake crown and stuff like that, and they explain that he actually in his bag he has this magic, seemingly pocket dimension bag, I guess, which can copy a bunch of stuff. Um, and he alludes that it can do other things because like somebody says, I think um, Rack or somebody says something like along the lines of like, oh, so you have a bag that can copy objects. And he says, and then he replies with like, oh, as if that's all it can do or something like that. So there's obviously more that this bag does. We see some of it in this episode, and I'm willing to bet that there's probably some more. I don't know what happens if this bag gets like damaged. If there's like stuff inside of it in this like seemingly like pocket dimension type deal. But it's cool. You can make a seemingly endless amount of objects of something. I don't know if it's something he's encountered before or something like that. Maybe we'll see that in the future. But we now know that it can copy objects, it can store stuff, it can even store individuals, because we find out that Kun actually befriended and sort of made an allegiance with these three other regulars that are taking part of the exam, and stored them in his bag until like just before this exam. So everybody was kind of none the wiser, besides the like one of the head game master guy who back in the previous episode said, "Wow, that bag is looking pretty heavy." Now we know why. Um, I could also have my timing wrong about this, but I wonder if this is also why. Didn't he have a hard time getting the bag through the water gate thing? I know it's not just there's a name for it. The Shinsu. Didn't he have a hard time walking through there with it? I'd imagine maybe that probably ties into it. I could be wrong. I might be mixing up my timing with some of the stuff. Um, but uh, super interesting power um, that they don't like explain a ton, but they showcase enough to make it interesting, in my opinion. Um, Another thing that interests me a lot is Rachel's team here. We have, well, seemingly Rachel's team. We have, Rachel and this ogre looking dude, and then this, uh, I don't know this girl's name, but I really need to find out soon. Um, Cause definitely my favorite girl of the show so far. I call her, I'm gonna call her Tower Waifu at this point. Um, you know, their team, after seeing Kun's squad is able to sort of handle their business in possession of the throne for their round. The last round kicks in. Rachel's team jumps in, but it doesn't seem like they're super after the crown itself. And in fact, Rachel, or seemingly Rachel, I'm assuming it's Rachel, clone of Rachel, who the hell knows, um, uh, tells Bam that he doesn't have to worry, that they're not going to go after the crown. So I don't really understand what their motivation really is at this point. It's pretty unclear. They're not really providing a lot of information. Tower waifu girl goes fighting this crazy like masked staff fighter chick. She reminded me a lot of like one of the characters from the Hellboy movies, like that guy that if you've seen Hellboy, the guy that like turns he like turns the beat of his heart to like accelerate and like make him like move faster and shit, if I remember correctly. Um, they have this cool fight. Unfortunately, like her heel and her shoe breaks and stuff like that, and that basically helps the staff character get the upper hand. Staff character goes to whack Rachel, and our boy Bam saves his little waifu there, and gets in the way of the attack, and also gets off of the throne and loses the crown, and basically immediately like disqualifies his team, if I understand the rules correctly. But not only that, he also when the staff character goes to sort of like finish them off, awakens this inner crazy light power, loses control of something, and the Black March appears again and says, "Oh wow, you lost your control," and then tells him to go to sleep, and then he basically uncontrollably does so. But this power, this light, this immense light emanates from him, and I don't know. Like when I was first seeing it, I was like, "Is this something that the March was doing?" But I don't know how much sense that makes, because it seems like Bam's subconscious is doing something. We still don't really know what Bam is. I mean, I guess he's an irregular, which makes him very different from the people who are taking this exam and everything as well, or going on this adventure. And we know that Rachel found him beneath the tower, or under the tower, at the base of the tower, wherever. Don't know anything else about backstory or anything. I wonder if Bam is some kind of like chosen child or something that has some kind of power. I don't know if this was also like tied to the March. Maybe it is. But that was interesting. It's nice to see that Bam still cares about this girl, and he has an interesting sort of very short mental debate with himself about like, why am I even sitting on this chair if Rachel's here? Like, his goal was literally before him. Why not just like forget the crown, forget this chair? It basically ruins the game, and in the midst of it, gets hurt, gets attacked, emanates this weird secret power kind of deal that destroys the crown, by the way. It basically ends the game and makes the game unwinnable, and our crown game concludes with no official winner, much to the sort of dismay of the people in charge, these game master type people. Now this was like an extra game, I believe, so I think like I would assume that the people that are like incapacitated are probably out. But it seems as though the others are going to be allowed to continue. The episode sort of ends with the game masters sort of debating the events that have happened, and questioning if any of these candidates seem actually dangerous to the tower. It seems like the goal of these games is to sort of see who is actually a threat to the tower. So there's a lot of allusion to like the tower being more obvious, like more than a monolith, more than like this structure, seemingly like this upper echelon of people or beings or knowledge or something like that. And I'm very interested to see what the tower. I feel like it's going to take a long time for me to get actual answers to like more answers about the tower, more answers about Rachel and everything like that. But I'm fine as long as we get episodes like this. This was entertaining. This had really good action. This had some comedic lines in between some of the characters and stuff like that. Rack got to hunt some people. He got to kick some ass for a little bit. Kun got to be Kun. We found out a little bit more about his briefcase thing. Um, you know, he gets kind of very comfortable jumping onto the Bam's lap there for a second. That we're gonna have some yaoi moments going on. If you're into that, you're into that. That's fine. I don't know if that's where this is gonna go. It's not really my prediction, but you know, maybe I could see them going in that direction. Maybe he'll just forget about Rachel, forget about his reasoning for climbing the tower. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I thought this was an entertaining episode. Again, I don't think they're answering like some questions and then some raising some others. I do like the conversation between the game masters toward the end of this episode, where it makes them seem human. They're supposedly like people that have climbed the tower before and know more about it, and so obviously much seemingly stronger, more powerful, and wiser than the main cast. And with that, at times it seems like they're like more than human, but when they have conversations like this and they have their worries and they have their concerns and they have their questions about what they're doing, it makes them seem very human. And I like the aspect of these people in charge, seemingly inhuman, bearing their human souls like to the viewer and to each other when in like private conversation. So I like that. It's very intriguing. The show has not really let me down yet. I'm liking the animation better and better with each episode. I know some people weren't really into like some of the character art and stuff like that. And I do think it looks unique. I think that it might take some getting used to. I still think the action sequences make up for any not so great animation in the other parts of the show. But yeah, I really enjoyed episode 5 here. Let me know down below what you guys thought of episode 5. Please try to avoid spoilers, as I am anime only. Yeah, if you like what I'm doing here, please hit that subscribe button down below. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Miasma, and I'll see you next time.